Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. No, you're fine. On time. I was just letting you know. So, yeah, I hope you guys took a lot of notes. Obviously, the second side of things is everything starts with recruiting. So that's why we had that conversation, because that's going to lead to production. We always have that conversation, and so you always want to make sure that you start with that, and then you can move your way towards being a top producer. So just like he started off with, you got to have a desire. So you got to have a desire to be a top producer. You want to know that what you're doing is changing people's lives. Sometimes people fight for the crusade here. Sometimes people come to Primerica to build wealth, right? That's a huge part of it, to become financially independent, to have all the multiple streams of income like Josh was talking about. But some people come to Primerica because they really, really have a desire just to help people. They could care less how much money they make. They just want to make a difference and help people. One of the top people in our hierarchy right now under Samir, Sheila, she could care less how much money she's making right now. She just wants to help her community and help people from getting ripped off and taken advantage of. And so with that, you got to have a desire to protect families the right way, with the right types of insurance, and make sure they're not getting taken advantage of, making sure they are protected. I mean, if you guys heard the story this morning, that new stud that's up in, I think New York is what they're saying. People passed away and they had GoFundMe's, guys. GoFundMe's. I have people on my team that have been telling me story after story after story with COVID going on, people passing away, GoFundMe, COVID, no insurance, they lose their job, no insurance. Like, you gotta have a desire to protect families. But then on the other side, right, our philosophy is buy term, invest the difference. You gotta have a desire to help people build wealth, build generational wealth, so that they can just have something for their family. And in the future, it doesn't have to come from insurance. Samir always has that conversation with us. He's like, hey, well, not with us, but when we're having the conversation with clients, people want to leave something to their family, their loved ones. They work for years and years and years. If they have a job, right, they're 9 to 5, and they're working 40 hours, 50 hours, 60, 70 hours a week for 30 plus years. I mean, I know somebody on our team right now, she's at the post office for 20 plus years. She's like, I cannot make it to 30 years. There's no way. I'm like, we're going to get you out of that. But she's doing it. Why? She wants to leave money to her family, her kids, her grandkids, right? And so with that, we got to teach people how to build wealth, how to invest, mutual funds, right? Rolling over their 401k when they need to, non-qualified accounts, save money. A large percentage of your money, live below your means so you can save and invest and be able to give something away to your family, right? That's huge. The crusade talked about that. Make money. You got to have a desire to make money. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, like I said, some people do it to help people, but a majority of people want to make money here. That's why they come. They wanted another stream of income, and then to transition out of a job to where they can make money and not have to work all of those hours, right? You got to have the desire to make money. Are you tracking your income? Do you know if your income is growing? Do you know where your income is coming from? Obviously, you got to get securities license, but there's multiple products that you can get paid on. Do you understand that compensation? I understand compensation. I think Josh understands compensation to a whole nother level of understanding it. But I mean, I at least understand compensation on the aspects of what I need to do, how I'm gonna get paid, so on and so forth. You guys got to understand that, so you know what you need to do on a regular basis to hit your goals. If you're just starting off part-time, you need to know the comp. Okay, what do you have to do to make whatever your goal is part-time? But if you're going to leave your job, go full-time, pay your bills, take care of your family, you got to understand the comp fully, the advances, the earns, the overrides, everything, so you know what you need to do and work towards that, right? Because if you don't understand comp, you're not leaving your job. You're not. It's absolutely impossible. So you have to have the desire for all of those things. Now, The next thing is you got to master setting appointments and going on appointments. So I put both of those there because sometimes people can master the setting part. Yeah, I got to set up 5 appointments this week. Did you actually go on all 5 appointments? What happened, right? We got to start with setting the appointment. Yes, understand the scripts. What should you say? If you're brand new, are you utilizing your upline, your trainer with the 3-way text message so they can call people, they can reach out to people for you, right? I mean, that is my go-to. I know top notch, their team, their base shop, they kill it with the three-way text. That's how I do it as well. It's just one of the simplest ways to help get on appointments with brand new people. It puts you in control and controlling that point of contact. So do you as a trainer, have you mastered that? And with your new teammates, have you mastered figuring out how to send out a text? It's simple, right? Number 2, if you are not brand new, do you know a script if you've been in the business for a little while? Maybe 3 months, now you're licensed. What are you going to say when you reach out to people, right? Couple examples. Sometimes people will say, hey, I run a business right now. I'm really excited. I'm licensed now. I just want to get my name out there. Would you be open to hearing me, right? Just listen to my presentation. Maybe you might know people that can benefit. You got to know what you can say. You got to be focused on setting appointments. It's massive and critical to your business. If you want to be a producer, you can't be a producer if you're not going on appointments. So you got to set appointments, right? Understanding the scripts, confirmations. You got to make sure you're confirming people when you are setting these appointments. If you're not confirming, especially because we're on Zoom now, we're not going to people's homes as often, maybe, especially with COVID. You got to make sure that people remember the appointment, right? And it's your business. You have to take control. I always confirm my appointments. I don't care that it's only on Zoom. I always confirm and make sure because I respect my time. I need to know. Sometimes people, yes, will get back to you late, last minute, but confirm. Make sure you're letting people know and reminding them they have busy lives too. And a lot of times when we set up these appointments, it is just for help. They don't know what they're going to hear when we get on the appointment with them, and that is going to change their lives and save them hundreds of thousands of dollars at some points. They don't know that yet. They're just thinking, oh, I'm just helping out John or Josh or Shondel with a training appointment. Oh man, I forgot. Hey, no, that's why you confirm, because you know it with that desire. You know that you can change their lives and they need to hear this, right? So make sure you're confirming your appointments, qualify your appointments. Make sure you're going on qualified appointments, right? I mean, if you want to be a top producer, you got to be in the right market. Yes, we can have clients that are single. I mean, when I started, I was 22, not married, no kids. Yes, I got my insurance in place and I started investing. Great. Josh did the same thing when he started with us when he was 18. Awesome. Not everybody is like that. And especially if you're training people, you need to be in a qualified market. They understand more so what we're doing, what we're helping people with. It makes more sense. Our presentation is designed for a qualified market. Sometimes when you go on an appointment and it's unqualified, then now it's like you're asking questions and it's kind of awkward. Oh, hey, if God forbid you passed away, what would your family do? Oh, there is nobody that depends on you. Then it's kind of like, it's tough in those situations sometimes. So always qualify your appointments. Married, qualified couples, engaged, they have children. That's key. That's key, guys, right? So master setting and going on appointments. Then you want to master the presentation and the products. You got to be a student in this business. You have to understand what you're doing on a regular basis. This business, Josh and I and all the leaders here, Shay, Jen, Donald, everybody here, all the leaders that you hear from, Shaq, Samir, there's no way it was just like, oh, boom, we know all this information. We freaking studied this stuff. You study it, you type up the scripts, you record it, you listen to yourself, you have drill for skill, you research products, you compare with, like, for example, Josh was over here the other day, he had an investment appointment, he's researching funds, returns, everything. We have conversations with Samir, we call, hey, have you seen this before? How can we beat this? How can we make this better for the client? So on and so forth. You have to be a student in the business. It starts with mastering the presentation. So if you're brand new, 6 months or less, master the presentation. For me, I am a systemized person. My presentation is recorded front to back, and we give that to our teammates so that they can learn it. If you're becoming a trainer and you want to build a team, record your presentation so your teammates can see it, watch it, and they can start learning, right? Sometimes you're going to recruit a stud and they're like, Shondel, I want to know everything. How quickly can I learn? Do you have that recorded, right? Do you have that here? Do you have that there? You got to be prepared, because people want to learn. The right people want to learn and they want to move fast, right? So you got to study your business, practice, drill, research, all of those things, right? Master your products, understand all of the different types of insurance that are out there, right? How we compare the 5 big mistakes that people make regarding life insurance, right? On the investment side, like I was saying earlier, mutual funds, non-qualified accounts, IRAs, 401ks, rollovers, all of that, right? You got to understand your business. Then the next thing is you got to get referrals. So Shaq talked about this on Trading on Friday, and they're doing, I know Shay and Jen are killing it right now with the referrals training. So make sure you guys check on YouTube when that video drops to start doing that. But you got to master getting referrals. We don't really use leads on a regular basis. We don't give recruits leads, things like that. So you got to master getting referrals. I know if you heard Shaq, if you haven't listened to the training, it is on YouTube. I would prefer to get great at getting referrals versus paying $600 for leads, right? So with that, ask. Every single appointment that you get on, learn the seeds that you need to drop throughout the presentation. So once you get to the end of the presentation, you can ask people, and don't be scared about asking. Like for example, I had an appointment last week and someone was like, oh, I don't know. I might have to like talk to them first. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't know if they're interested. It's okay. Think about it this way. This is, I don't know who said this or where I got it from, but I say this all the time. I always say, like, if I'm talking to the client and it's like, let's say Josh and Lilix. I'm like, Josh and Lilix, think about it. You don't tell your friends right now, any of them. You don't tell them. And then 20 years from now, you retire early, you have millions of dollars, your net worth is unbelievable, your family's protected, your kids are good, their college is paid for, you're debt free, all of that. And then your friends go, Josh and Lilix, like, how did you do that? How did you get there? Oh yeah, I talked to Shondel, and like 20 years ago, and she told me everything I needed to know. I didn't even have to pay her. It was unbelievable. What? They're gonna be pissed. They're like, why didn't you tell me? Yeah, there you go, Carlos Gonzalez, right? I know it was some audio I listened to. So like, you gotta tell people, like, it's true. It's not, we're not just asking these people so we can go get another sale. It's like, they need to know this information too. You got to get referrals and get good at getting referrals. Have a list of 100 people that you can call, no matter what avenue it's from. It could be from clients. It could be from like social media. Like people have Facebook groups that they're creating now, wealth education, all these things that you can do, but let people know what you're doing and be constantly getting referrals if you want to be a top producer. Know your numbers and track it. So I am a huge tracker. I track everything in my business. And sometimes I think it might be a little much. And people are like, gosh, Shondel, I don't have the numbers on the Telegram. You need to post it. I track it, right? Track your business. Know your numbers. Know how many, the 50% rule, how many appointments you got to have set in order to, how many appointments you're going to do. And then from those appointments, how many you're going to close. It's 50%. In most cases. You also have to know that the amount of appointments that you set weekly is going to be a great prediction of how much production that you do monthly, right? So if you set an average 10 appointments a week, that means in that month, you're probably going to do about 10,000 in production that month, right? So if you want to be becoming a 20K base shop, 30K, 50K, big base shop, 100K, you got to get to setting 10, 30, 50, 100 appointments a week within the next 7 days. So that's why it's critical, guys, for you guys to know the numbers, track your numbers, and that's why the QA blitz, the appointment setting blitz that we have after training is critical. You got to make sure that you guys are doing that if you want to be a top producer. Then you want to be competitive, right? Take pride with what you're doing, right? So other people can kind of see that. Qualify at your level. Qualify at your level. If you are a district leader, do at least 3 by 2,500, division 5 by 5,000, regional leader 7 by 7,500, right? Minimum, you got to qualify at your level. If you can't do that, there's no way you're going to be a top producer in the company, right? You got to compete for Top Gun, right? Compete for Top Gun. I am an extremely competitive person. You guys have no idea. Like, I almost flipped today when we were doing top turnout because people weren't there on time. Like, how hard is it? Anyways, you got to compete, guys. You got to compete. Top Gun is huge. If you haven't written a sale in the past 7 days, how are you going to be a top producer? You got to do those things. Check the leader sheets. See who's kicking your butt. Bruce says, look at the leader sheets. Josh does an amazing job with this. He's going to find out who's at the top of leader sheets and hit them up on Instagram, social media, Fight Club, whatever he can to reach out to those people so he can pick their brain and compete with them. And that's how he was able to mention all of those people that are his age and killing it in the business. You got to watch the leader sheets and fight to get to be in the top 10% of the company. Break records, focus on breaking records. If you know your numbers, if you've only done 1,000 in production or 5,000 in production, know what your records are, and every single month try to beat that record, right? Duplicate. The only way that we're going to accomplish financial independence and wealth and passive income is if you duplicate. You could be a salesperson here and be in sales for the rest of your life, but I don't think that's what everybody came here to do, right? You learn the presentation, you master it yourself, but when you're presenting to people, you're field training. A majority of the time, the way that our business is structured, we're meeting with clients through field training, new associates coming in. So this is not entertainment for that new recruit. They have to be training, right? You want to be focused on always having somebody watching you at an appointment at all times, right? It should be very rare that you're doing an appointment without someone watching you. If it's a referral appointment, if it's a personal appointment, Bruce said this, call somebody, tell them, hey, you free? You want to watch me do this presentation? Get somebody watching you, right? Set guidelines for them. Tell them, prep them before the appointment. Let them know what they need to be writing down, what notes they need to be taking, what they need to be watching for, right? Give them guidelines, quiz people. Bruce said, if you don't quiz people, like in school, if people didn't know that they had a quiz or test, would they ever learn anything? Think about that, guys. If there's no quiz or test, nobody would ever study. Nobody would ever learn, really, right? There's few and far between of people that would do that without a quiz. So how often are you quizzing your teammates after an appointment? Hey, what did I say on that slide? What did I say when they said that? How did I respond, right? How did I transition from this side to that slide, right? And I've been doing this recently. Put your recruit on the spot. Let them know, hey, at some point you're going to start doing the presentation, and then be like, oh, hey, Josh, I'm just going to have you do the first 3 slides. Don't even let them know. Just let them do it. If they've seen a couple, just let them go. It's a training appointment, right? We're not talking about closing the sale. It's just some slides. Put them on the spot. Throw them out there. Hey, maybe they'll start taking more notes, right? And start acting more prepared and listening, right? Because they don't want to be embarrassed. So you got to think about duplication, guys. That's why we field train. And then last but not least, guys, you want to lead from the front. You got to lead from the front and become a 10K producer yourself, a top producer yourself. And so Josh created this, and I think Shaq likes it, but I think they're going to start calling it Snap, Crackle, Pop. So Snap is you go out, it's like, oh, Snap, you go out and you just wrote 10 grand personal yourself. Then you start crackling, you get somebody else through the duplication, somebody else to write 10 grand outside of you. And then if you have two other people outside of you writing 10 grand, now you pop it off and you're a vice president. So you got to lead from the front first and become a 10K producer. And the only way that that's going to happen is by doing a lot of these things here, but definitely starting with the desire and also being a top recruiter, right? And then it's all going to tie into overall being a great builder in this business. So I hope you guys took a lot of notes. I know today was a lot of mindset. I don't know if you guys have any questions. If you do, you can post them in the chat. We have a couple brief minutes we can answer those, but the recording will definitely be up on YouTube.